Hello everyone. How's everybody doing? It is Alana here. I'm just getting this all loaded up on my page here so I can follow along with you guys. If you're here, say hi. And I will just wait a minute or two until we see if there's anyone here to watch along. Hi Oren, how are you? I hope you had a good week. I see there's a couple of you here. It's always a little bit delayed on my end. Hi Ramona. So some of you have guessed that we're doing watercolor. I hope that the feed doesn't lag like it did yesterday. This looks a little blurry to me. So, and it is delayed for sure. Hi Linda. So I'm just hoping that, oh, I do not want to turn the camera view around like I did yesterday by accident. I tried to get things in focus and it flipped the camera around. So nothing is moving. Do you guys see anything moving? I don't. If it's not working, we might have to leave and come back because that would be no fun for you if things were not actually going to. This is so strange. I'm going to try to pull it up on my phone and see if it looks the same on my phone. If you see like my hand coming in here or the card moving, let me know because I don't see anything moving on the iPad. And that would be no fun if it just stayed on a still view all night, would it? You wouldn't get to see. Okay, on my phone it is. So let's just see. I'll have to watch on my phone then and see if I can watch the comments there. Oh, shut the volume off. No one wants to hear the feedback there. Do you guys see things moving? Let me know. And I'll hang on a second. Let me know if you can see my hand waving in here. I do see it on my phone, so I'm hoping that that means things are indeed working. And I'm just going to see if Ryan can help me get these comments working on the iPad while he's here. One sec. Okay, so I will just miss your comments for a moment or two while I get starting. How about that? And then that way you don't have to wait forever. You can see me moving hands. Okay, perfect. So I am going to, this is actually a retiring folder, Linda. So I am going to do a watercolor technique like on this little flower here. And then I'm going to show you guys some product here that's retiring. So this is the Twigs and Sprigs embossing folder and die set, and I just have it here to show you. This one here, I'm just going to update Ryan, but look at this, the video's still. I guess at least if I can see their comments, and that's good. I tried that too, but it won't show any updated video. My phone will, but this won't. Hopefully he can help us here. So I am using the Twigs and Sprigs. This is on the retiring list. I will just look up the price really quick for you guys. It is discounted. It is 20% off for $38.40. It's on page 175. So it's one of those hybrid dies and embossing folders like what the Sweet Citrus is. So what you can do with it is, there we go. We're all updated now. Perfect. Thank you. He was actually about to leave. So I'm going to just show you guys this. I put it back in the package, but I have used it, of course, because I made the card. So it has the embossing folder. I didn't realize when there was one in the holiday catalog a couple of years ago and it carried over. I didn't really realize how it worked, that it did this all in one swoop through the machine for you. So I was afraid to put the dies into the folder. I just was so hesitant. And so, oh, hi, Patty. Thanks for joining in. So I was super hesitant to actually put the dies into the folder because I figured, well, like I know that it's designed to do this, but I just had doubts that it wouldn't cut through and wreck the folder. So I didn't ever learn how to use that one properly, but it's amazing. So you have your textured side here, and then you line your dies up according to the image, and it will emboss and cut everything all at once. So I'm actually going to do this and show you guys. I'll do the watercolor technique. It's a little messy. My hands are nice and watercolored, as you can see. But it's super cool how it will emboss and die cut all in one shot. I took some photos of the process today because it was just so wow. But you guys will get to see it here. Hopefully it will turn out relatively the same as this afternoon. But you know that it's watercolor is always a little different. You'll never get the exact same look twice. And then this paper is, you can see, I'm just gonna try to get this nice and up close for you guys. Let me know if you guys are getting the effect there. You can see in here that there's a lot of texture to that paper. This is our linen paper. So I use that. I was initially going to try to do a technique on the linen paper, and I didn't. I ended up running it through with this. Just, I don't know why it struck me to try that, but I did. And I really love how the linen paper is embossed with these leaves here. So that was what I went with instead. My card drastically changed. I had a completely different plan for this card. So I had a moment of thinking, uh-oh, am I gonna have anything to show you? Well, I would have just picked something else, but anyhow. So I hope that answers your question, Linda. It's the Twigs and Sprigs hybrid embossing folder and die set. It is leaving. I don't think it's sold out. I hope not, but I can always check that if anybody's interested in it as well. Okay, so I'm gonna show you guys all of these gorgeous leaves that I did, and then I'll show you the technique. So I ran 2 sheets through. Look at all these. So this is from one sheet, and these are from another. So this was my first attempt, this darker side here, and then I realized I put way too much water and it really just muddied up the colors, but I actually really like them. So they weren't garbage. At first I thought it kind of was a lost cause, but then once I die cut them, I just loved how they turned out. And then these ones, these more vibrant colors, are my other one. So I just did a sheet of watercolor, and then I put it into that folder and die cut them. So let me know what you guys think of these, if these are something that you would ever use in your crafting. So I'm gonna I'll show you this. So this is the background that went with these ones, and then this is the background that went with these ones. Now I'll actually watercolor a sheet, and then we'll run it through the machine. I also did some green ones because like I said, I had a different plan, and I did use a little bit of green here as well. So I've got those ones. I pre-die cut these ones, so you don't have to sit and watch me do the green, because you'll know what the technique is by the time I do the colorful one. But I did some, I had about a half a sheet left of watercolor from some die cut wreaths that I had used in a class. So I used the other half and just cut all the green pieces I need. So I have another project in the works, and I will hopefully get back to show that, not on live because it is kind of intense, but I'll show a photo of it tomorrow if I can finish it tonight. All right, so I have a sheet of watercolor paper. I don't know if the watercolor paper is available right now. It was on stop order for a little while, but I have a healthy stash of it. So I do have enough that everybody who earned the retirement party class will get to make their watercolor guitar card. So I've got this sheet here. I'm going to just move all these out of the way. I don't need these for now. Do any of you guys have the linen paper? Have you ever tried anything with it? Let me know if you have it. So I will just move, these are all my supplies here. I have background block that I'm going to use. I have a spritzer just in case. I have a dish with water in it that I'm going to keep handy, and I've got my aqua painter. I also have a paper towel handy and a heat gun. So I will end up drying this. You guys don't want to sit here and watch while it dries, and I'm sure you'll want to see it get die cut through or ran through the machine. So I want to be able to keep that, get it dried up quickly. Now I went and set the die and the embossing folder here. I was going to show you guys how I started off doing this. I was trying to be a little more strategic in where my color went. So if you had a different folder that you wanted to be strategic with, I'm just going to show you a trick. So if you were to put, let's say the lemons, they have more of a definite pattern, like they don't take up, like these are smaller pieces that kind of fill up the whole thing. With the lemons, they're a bigger portion of the folder. So let's say you wanted to put some watercolor on here so that it would end up in the right place. You could strategically place your color on the block by using the folder underneath as a guide. I hope that makes sense. I started off doing it that way. You have never tried it, Ramona. It's too bad we're not using it in the retirement class. I should have thought of that. I started off doing it that way, where I was using this as a guide underneath, but that was the one where I put way too much color on the first time, and then I just kind of winged it the second time. But again, if you have a more strategic folder that you want to do that with, because you can see through your block, you can use it as a guide underneath there. So that's just a tip for you. Now I am going to come in with some, I'll tell you guys all the colors that I used here first. So the upcoming Berry Burst, Bubble Bath. I was calling it bubble gum yesterday. It's Bubble Bath. I don't know why I was calling it that. Coastal Cabana and Lemon Lime Twist. So those are the colors that I have. The first time I put way too much Berry Burst, so I'm going to go a little bit less. I don't want to spritz this right over here and get anything wet, so I'm going to move off camera just for a second, but I'm going to use my spritzer and I'm going to spritz the block. You'll see that it's wet when I bring it back in, but I just don't want to get this all over. Okay, so I have pooled some water on top of there. Now I'm going to take my re-inkers, and I'm not fully squeezing this. I'm just kind of letting it touch the block, and it kind of brings, whoa, see, look at that one. Helps the water pull a little bit out of the re-inker. Okay, now that's obviously not spread enough, so I'm going to grab my paper towel and I'm going to just swirl this around. It doesn't have to be strategic. This might even be too much of the Berry Burst. So what I may do here, I'm going to lift some off for now. And I'm going to lift this one off. There. I had too much there the first time, like I said, and I don't want to do that again. I want to be able to see the other colors. So now I'll get the Berry Burst out of my brush, and I will come in with some of the Bubble Bath. The Bubble Bath, I don't know if it's because it hasn't been used, but it definitely needs more of a squeeze than the Berry Burst. You can just go, there's no more water left there, but that's okay. I'll pool lots of water around when I'm using the brush. Do you guys ever use watercolor paper? Let me know. So I'm just coming into each color and swirling it around a little bit with extra water. I don't know if this is how actual artists would do this, but it gave me the look that I wanted, helped me really pool colors around, because there's not enough of the spritzed water on the block for it to fully pool around. So I just come in like that. Now I'm going to add some Coastal Cabana. You want to try to not have the colors fully mix in to each other, otherwise they will turn brown. And that you don't want. I hope I haven't done too much here, but we'll see. I should have paid attention to where this particular leaf was on the folder is actually what I should have done. Because then I would know that I'd get some of that color in there. I don't know that I have anywhere left to put some lemon lime twist, but we're gonna make it work. Put a little bit there, a little bit here. I'm gonna come in here with a little bit and hope that it doesn't go brown. Sorry, there's Ruby barking. All right. Hi, Kareen. I hope you guys all had a good week. I had a very busy stamping week, as I'm sure that you could tell if any of you follow along with my posts. It's been a fun week stamping. I went on a marathon last night, so I have a bunch of masculine cards. The boys were helping me do a reel because I've only ever done them with their help. That one's going to be a little brown. I hope that's not where the dye ends up for this flower that I'm using. But anyhow, they were helping me do a reel because then that way you can all see the, I'm going to try to pull some of this around here. Then you guys can all see the stash of masculine cards. Okay, so this is wet enough. I do not need to spritz this, but I do want to move my block. I hope this isn't so much water that it just turns to mud, but we're going to give it a try. Now, I am the worst for hiding things in my stash here and not being able to find them. We were talking about that yesterday, putting things on top of them, right? Like hiding the glue dots. This is going to be a little muddy over here. So now I'm going to take my watercolor paper and just place it on here. Now again, I hope this doesn't just turn to mud. We'll see. It'll be a surprise when we turn it over. So I'm just pressing this down so that that paper absorbs everything, and I don't want it to run to one end when I lift it off. So I'm going to try to lift from both ends at the same time. And there we go. So it's not too muddy. Definitely it's darker than my other one. But yeah, this will be too muddy. I can't reuse that. When I did all green, the color that was left there, I didn't wet the paper first, but that might have been a good idea. The block was super soppy. There we go. So let's hope that that die cut that I want to use has some green in it. Oh well, if it doesn't, but what I was saying was the leftover ink that was pooled there when I did the green one, I just reused what was left there and did a second sheet because there was enough left there. And then some of it didn't quite take, so I just spritzed over it again with water. So you can always do that. Now I need to dry this, but I'm first going to just lay this. I'm not going to lay it. I'm just going to use it as a guide. The one that I want to use is this one. So let's see. Yeah, it should have some green in it. Okay, so we're going to heat dry this. This mat is, what's the word for it? Laminated. So it's nice and it's glossy, so I can just wipe messes up from that. You could use this background just as is if you had something that you wanted a watercolored background for, but I actually wanted die cut from this. It's kind of a shame because I like how it turned out. So it's kind of a shame that it's not going to be used like this, but you can always try again and make another one. I feel like I'm going to need to make something out of one of these backgrounds now. But I do love these colors together. So just to repeat them, it was Berry Burst, lemon lime twist, coastal cabana, and bubble bath. I don't know why I keep calling it bubble gum. Did any of you catch that yesterday, that I was calling it bubble gum the whole time? I think it was yesterday I was talking about it. And again, you could leave this to dry on its own. You don't have to heat set it, but for the purposes of not having you guys sit here and wait forever, I am heat setting it. All right. There we go. That should be good enough. If I die cut this now, then it'll be good by the time I'm ready to assemble. So I'll show you guys the wow of this thing cutting. So we need to switch out our plates. We're not going to use the ones for cutting. This is a 3D folder, so you need to use the gray plate, plate number 4. And I just want to make sure you guys, yeah, you can see this. So what I did was, I haven't actually watched any videos on this, so I'm hoping that I'm doing it right. I line this up with the flat side. Try to back this off a little so you can see. So the flat side of your die to the embossing folder, and you can kind of see, like, once it's in place, you can tell where it's meant to be. So back that up a little bit. Can't really see that, can you guys? So I'll do this over here. So you can see where it's lined up. It kind of catches there and sits right where it should be. And then you can take your paper. I'm going to need to cut just a little bit off my watercolor paper, but look how pretty that is through there. I love the look of that. I don't know about you guys, but I think it's really pretty. But first I need to trim that 1/4 inch or so off the top, because I don't want my die cut shapes to encroach over into the portion that's not watercolored. So I'm just going to go and snip a little bit off my watercolor paper. Here we go. And then now we can put this back in. So just make sure that the die is in there. There. So now you guys can see that it is fully covered now. So everything will be nicely watercolored. There's not very much green in the one that I want to use for today, but that's okay. These colors would be really nice for fall too. So now that that's all, show you that one more time. Now that that's all lined up, I need to actually just shuffle that over a little bit more. Make sure that, there we go. Then you can put your gray plate on top. You have a little bit more resistance with these, so you gotta use your muscles when you're running that one through. So I hope you guys don't mind that you had to put up with the cutting machine in the way temporarily. There we go. But there we go. So we have this, that, and then look at all this. We have all these really pretty die cut and embossed shapes. I do not know how I overlooked this whole time. I had it. I bought it, oh, not very long ago. It was before it went on sale for sure. But I had never used it, clearly, and I think it's just so pretty. Whether you use the die cut shapes or this here. So I'll actually have to bring it in one more time, because I'm going to show you guys how I embossed this piece with the linen paper, and I want to show you how to use the linen paper because it's actually adhesive backed, the linen paper. I didn't know that when I bought it, and I used it to make a canvas for somebody, and I had to peel the backing off and put it onto something in order to make the project, because I wasn't expecting that, and it was kind of transparent once I peeled the backing off. You've only done cardstock with cutting these? Is that what you mean, Tracy? But I just love this. It's kind of a shame to cut this up, but anyhow, I think that they're so pretty. I was going to try to make a wreath out of them. So if you were doing a framed piece where it's not just on a small card, I think that would work. But I was doing it on my card and that was just too small. So I had also done the green. I just did a sheet of green as well. Do you remember the brushed blooms that I showed you, or brush bouquet that I showed you guys the other day? I die cut a whole bunch of them out of this and this, the leaf dies from here, because it's got that nice texture. And I'll show you a few of them. So I did the same technique to the watercolor paper, and then I just die cut a whole bunch of leaves. So every one is a little bit different. You can see that one sheet was lighter, so I'll just like intersperse the light and the dark. But, oh, what was I going to say? I was going to do a mix of the green with these to make a wreath. So that might be really pretty, but a card is just too small of a canvas for these huge leaves. It didn't look quite right, which was why I ended up changing courses and going with this and just using one of these. But this is the one I'm going to use. So hopefully that will still tie in well enough and not be too dark. But that's how you can do that. And then you can also just use your watercolor paper for all kinds of other die cutting. All right, so I will finish that other project so that I can show you guys. So I'll just put this aside because I have the one that I need. I wish it had more green, but that's okay. Maybe I'll even keep this one handy. I'll keep a couple handy just in case I change my mind, but I don't think I'm going to. I think I'll stick with the one that I had. There we go. Now I need to show you guys how to emboss the linen paper, because I do actually need to take all these leaves off of here if I'm going to show you how to emboss the linen paper. I will still need this. I have pre-cut a piece of basic white. I almost called it Whisper White. I have reverted to calling white Whisper White today. I don't know why. So this is the linen paper. It comes in 12 by 12, and I think you get 2 sheets in a pack. I'll just quickly look that up. It's also retiring, unfortunately. I'm just on a linen and vellum kick. I am so sad that the Layering Designs vellum is leaving, because almost everything I made yesterday had it on it. Okay, so on page 139 is the linen paper. It's 12 by 12. You get 2 sheets, and it's 50% off down to $4.12. So that is what this one is. And then the Layering Designs vellum. I'm going to just tell you guys about this paper right now, and then I'll show you some projects at the end. That one also comes in 12 by 12. You get 12 sheets. It's 50% off for $6.87. Again, I have used that on so many projects. I'm so bummed that it's leaving. It works really well with the motorcycle bundle. All right, so I have pre-cut this. I'll tell you guys the measurement. It is pre-cut down to 4 1/8 by 5 3/8. And then I pulled pieces from the edge. So let's see, I've got about as much pulled as I want, but I'll pull one more if I can grab one. So I just grabbed some fibers from the end, from the sides, and pulled them. Now watch, that one didn't go the whole way. Usually they just pull right off, but it's got the frayed edge now, so my canvas looks like this. I hope you guys can see that. Let me know if you can pick up that detail there. There we go. I can see it on my end, so hopefully that worked for you guys to see that there. So I frayed the edges a little bit, and you can see here that there's the backing on that, so I can't actually see the frayed edge from the back, so I've got to peel that off and stick it to Whisper White. So Whisper White, there we go. I called it Whisper White again. I don't know what my problem is. So now I have this basic white piece, and I can see here that it is really tight to the solid section of canvas, so I'm actually going to cut just a little bit more off the white, just a tad, because otherwise I will see the white past the canvas or the torn edges, and then you won't really see that. So I'm going to take just a hair off of this one here. I didn't bring my little cutter in here today. I don't want to take off much. I just want to This is already smaller than the 4 5/8. I went down to just a little under 4 inches by just a little under 5 1/4, so that those frayed edges could hang over the edge. All right, now I will show you, and hopefully I can do a good job of this. I'll show you how I attach that. Just got to get the edge of the adhesive paper. So you can see here, it is sticky on the back of that. And I am going to, this is the same way that I apply my, what is it called? Adhesive sheets. I just lift a corner first and peel apart back. If you peel the whole thing at once, it's really hard to get things lined up. And I'm going to try to do this without sticking my head in your guys' view. And I'm just going to line up from these 2 corners to the corners of the solid part of the canvas. I'm keeping this back from the very edge so that I can still see the torn edge. And I'm just pressing that down to here. And now I can just kind of reach in here and peel that backing off as I stick down the canvas. There we go. So now you can do that without fighting with it. Now I need to put this canvas, or linen, sorry, it looks like canvas, into my folder. And now you would just run this through like you would any 3D folder. So I'll bring that back in again. And again, we're not going to use the other plates. We just need the platform and plate number 4. And this time it's going to be a little easier to go through because we don't have the die in it as well. It's just the folder. There we go. And because the cardstock is in there, the basic white, not Whisper White, it's because I attached the linen paper to that, that helped give it the stability to actually take the texture of the folder. So that is the linen paper backed with basic white and then run through the Twigs and Sprigs embossing folder, and it's got this really pretty torn edge. So hopefully you guys learned something from that today. These are all kind of discoveries as I played with products today. I'm really sad that this paper is leaving. I think that this is just so pretty. Am I allowed to say that? It's not me who made the products. I just put them together into a design. All right, so I have a 4 1/4 by 11 piece of cardstock. This is Berry Burst. I should have decorated the inside of the card. I'll have to go back and use one of these leaves on the inside. Okay, now I actually made this one a little smaller because I found that this one didn't have enough Berry Burst around the edge with the way that I cut the white behind it. I couldn't tear off enough to have the frayed edge show. So I purposely went a little smaller with this one so that we would get a little bit more of the Berry Burst showing. Now I also have some things pre-die cut here. So I have a little label. This is from the upcoming Timeless Arrangements, as is this piece of green watercolor. This is from that sheet that I watercolored with the old olive. I'll bring that in and show you guys. I think I showed you at the beginning, but I just had these like 2 half sheets that I did. So I pre-die cut all of those pieces from that. So you don't have to watch me do that one again, but I did it the same way as I did with the full sheet that I just showed you guys. So these are from Timeless Arrangements. So is this one. I have used the Amazing Thanks again. So that one is on the retiring list. I think it's only $16 and you get the thanks and you are amazing. So I have pre-die cut it with the gold paper from the Gold and Rose Gold Metallic Specialty paper. I did die cut these on adhesive sheets so that I could just stick them together. And what I did was I die cut 1 in the gold metallic and 2 of them in thick basic white. So I'm actually going to layer them together. This paper is kind of flimsy, as you can see. And so because it is raised up off the card, I didn't want it to be really flimsy. So that was why I chose to cut 2 thick layers of white. the top, this one has the adhesive sheet on the back, so does this one, and then I can glue them all together, stack them up, and then the back one I can just glue where I need it to be glued because it does not have the adhesive sheet on the back one. Okay, so 1 gold, 2 thick white, these pieces here, and then this little piece here is from the sending dies. It coordinates with Sending Smiles. All right, so I basically just need to assemble all this for you guys now. So hopefully that all makes sense. Hi, Maria. You'll be able to catch the replay, Maria, on how I did the watercolor. So I'm gonna take the thanks and get this backing peeled. I should have brought my paper piercer in. You need to be a little bit careful with these because I was saying they're very pliable. Do any of you guys have these amazing thanks dies? I feel like everybody needs them in their collection. I have used this thanks so many times, especially with this. This one didn't cut fully through there. I had to pull that out. You're like really pulling that one to get it out. Especially with this gold glimmer paper or gold metallic paper. It's so pretty. Those of you who are doing the retirement party class, you are getting a package of that paper with your class that you earned. So I've peeled the backing off this one. It's now sticky and I can just line it up onto the thick white. This is the advantage of using the adhesive sheets, is the whole thing will just adhere down to the other layer. So I just want to make sure that these are nicely stuck down. It's okay that that white piece is in there because that'll come out when I peel the backing off the white one. So now I can peel the backing off this white one. I had already put the adhesive sheet on that one. And again, if you didn't remember, this last thick white piece that I'm using does not have the adhesive sheet. Otherwise, the areas that are raised would fall back, like here, it would tack down to my card, and I don't want that. So that was why I strategically did not put adhesive sheet on the back one. Takes a little bit of planning and thinking what layers you want to do what with, but now I have a nice thick thanks die cut, and it's got a little bit more stability to it. So when I place it down here, I don't have to worry that that S is just going to rip right off. Okay. I originally was going to stamp on this little greeting, but I so badly wanted to use this gorgeous gold thank you. So, all right, now I am going to, we have this, I'm going to take a little glue dot and we're going to glue dot. I think I put that a little bit too low, so we're going to put another one there. Now this is going to sit, this is from that Timeless Arrangements that's upcoming. This is going to go in front of these, like that. And then I have, from the Timeless Arrangements, another little twig here, or little set of leaves. So this one's going to get another glue dot. And then this one will sit in front. So it's going to go in the middle of this one here. So we've got that. So there isn't as much green in here, but that's okay. It still ties in with the rest of the colors, I hope. There's less of the bubble bath. I cannot get my colors straight today. What is with that? Now, originally, see, I was going with this and I felt like that was, I was going to stamp this just a simple thank you on here, but it wasn't quite enough. So I wanted to put a color behind here. So I added this, and then I was still going to just stamp on there, but it still felt a little naked, and I really wanted to use this. So that was what I came up with. So don't be afraid to change your mind while you're going. I know often for myself, I start with one plan and it changes. Do you guys find you do that? Or do you make a plan and stick to it? Sometimes I have something sketched out, or a whole, like lately I've had a whole list of ideas and they morph into something else as I go. I think that's true for us in life too. We might have a plan, but we morph into other things as we go, learn and grow kind of thing. So I have just glued the pool party layer behind the berry burst layer. And then now what I'll do here is I have some little glue dots. I forgot to bring my, no, I did bring my piercer. It's just actually put away. Can you believe that? Now I know that this is only going to attach to the berry burst between the H and the K. So I am going to put my glue dots on the back of that, only between those letters. Hi, Jen. And then that way, just put a couple on that end. And I am just placing these glue dots behind. Yeah, I'm on a roll. There's like so many retiring things I want to show you guys before they're gone. Not necessarily, you know, just so you guys don't miss out. I don't know what I'm going to do because the more I use things, the more I don't want to let anything go afterwards. Do you guys find that? Especially if you're a demo, I just don't want to let it go. Like, I love these things. I don't want to sell them afterwards. I can't use them in a class, but I don't want to sell them. Now, I actually need to put another, I need to put one behind the K. There we go. Okay, so now I can just layer this on there like that. So I've got that now, and it's nice and thick. That's not gonna just tear off. Like, see, it's a lot more stable than it was when I had just first die cut it. So that's got a lot more stability there. And then what I will do, I just need to double check what my layers were here. All right. So then what I did next was I put a couple of dimensionals onto the front of this one here. So I'll take a little dimensional, and I flipped it the wrong way. I'm just gonna tuck that there and tuck another one here. These will just get this positioned. I'm gonna just move this out of the way for a sec. This is a little tricky to do when I've got to make sure that I don't block your guys' view. Alrighty. Now, there we go. I feel like I need to do more watercolor so that this piece can have some more green in it. It's definitely darker than that one, but hopefully it's still okay. Now I also have my linen thread, and I meant to actually put this on before the thanks, but that's okay, it'll fit in after. So I've tied a bow here. I know some of you do not like to tie bows. Sometimes I get them tied first for class kits, and other times I don't. It's always a bonus when I can do that. So now I just take my piercer, and this is tucked right in behind here, behind the H, to the little corner of that leaf. So now I can tuck that part behind the H, and this part kind of trails in front. So we've got that. And then because this part here is raised, I need to put dimensionals behind here. Otherwise it'll kind of cave down. So that'll go like that, and then I can use glue dots behind the top part because it's not going to be raised. So I'll do that, and then I think we're good. Oh, everything wants to roll away on me today. Now this is not attached there just yet. Let's make sure this is facing the same way. I like how that one worked out. So now we are going to just attach this about right there. There we go. And then I've got that glue dot back there. So here we are. Now, move these guys aside. There is one more thing that I need to add. I have used, they are not retiring, thankfully, the iridescent rhinestones. I keep my embellishments in these stamp cases. And so I pulled 2 packages out because I was trying to use up one size from one package before I moved on to another. So I've got the medium here, and we're gonna go about right there. And then a small. You can tell I don't use the large ones very often. I find I do that with most embellishments. I don't use, that is the joy of being a hobby demonstrator. You get to keep it all. Now, what was I saying? Oh, the large ones. I find that with a lot of different embellishments, I don't use the large size. I don't know why. I just find them bulky sometimes. Sometimes I use them depending on how large it is. I forgot to tell you guys at the beginning that if you wish to share and come back and comment, then you'll get entered in a draw for these. I didn't get a chance at the marathon last night to do the draws, but that's my goal between tonight and tomorrow, is to get those done. So I just put these iridescent rhinestones, yep, that's what they're called, on there. So I'll bring this up nice and close so you guys can actually see that. Let me know if you can see the detail in the linen and with all of that extra color. Not too close, that's a little close. There we go. Now I can put these back in my case. I don't know if Tammy is watching, but Tammy, I need to get you the price of those cases. Now this one here, because this is now just white, I need to tape that down. And then I don't want to dimensional it. I want to just tape that one down so that you can see the nice frayed edge there. So I will use my tear and tape, and I got to do my best to get these glue dot rolls back on that Tombow holder, right? And then I'll use my tear and tape here to attach the embossed layer. So yeah, if you guys want to share, you are welcome to do so. Come back and comment so that I know you did, so I can enter you in the draw. And I will combine any creative challenges from this week into one draw. So instead of doing a draw for everyone, it'll be like a weekly creative challenge draw. So if you go back through my lives, I did the one yesterday, which was, oh gosh, what did I show you guys yesterday? The first day was the campfire card. Oh, and then yesterday was the blooms card. So if you go back in case anything from the campfire card or the blooms card or this card, for this card you could do the linen technique, the watercolor technique, you could use the layout, whatever you want to pick from this card as something to case, you can do so, and then take a photo of your card and come back and post it on, if you can post it on any of the photos that I share of what we made in the live. And then I just have to go back and look at those photos and give an entry to anybody who posts their photo on the corresponding project that they cased. If you case them all, you get an entry per, draw entry per project that you make. So you can definitely earn more than one entry into the draw. All right, so now I just glue that one straight down. I do need to do something for the inside of this card though. I like that let me know what you guys think. Do you like the one that has more berry burst showing or less berry burst showing? I really like the one with more. I like the flower better on this one, but I like the more berry burst showing on this one. So that is the 2 different projects, or the 2 cards. So hopefully you guys like that. Do you guys want to see the cards that I made on my marathon of stamping last night? I had a goal. I'll still post the photos, but I wanted to be able to make a reel of them. More berry burst, I agree. Because the DSP is all leaving and they're masculine cards. So I know if you guys are like me or a lot of the people that I stamp with, we all feel the same way, that masculine cards are harder to come up with. I shared 2 cards earlier from this is from my birthday class card. So I'm gonna just move these aside. I do too. I actually feel like I need to alter this one. I feel like I need to edit it somehow. Anyway, so I had shared these cards previously. These are made using the Today is the Day Memories and More card pack. So I just cut up the cards and used it like it was DSP. So I have done, not this layout before, but I did one very similar, but I did this layout before with a different project. It was back when we had the deer, I think. And I also did that with Nature's Harvest anyhow. So I really wanted to use this layout again and thought that it worked well with these cards. But these cards also have other color schemes. They do not just have these nice bright schemes. So I have not showed the other one that I came up with this. So I'll show you guys the other color scheme and then what it led into. This was definitely if you give Alana a cookie or if you give a mouse a cookie, then it'll lead to this and it'll lead to that. So these two turned into, I really wanted to use one of the rugged icon dies because my retirement party class were using one of the rugged icon dies. So I wanted to be able to use that on one of these, and it has these really nice greens and grays in there. So I came up with that one. And then that one led to using the colors that are more the black and grays. So then I came up with this one here. Except for I wanted to use it with the motorcycle because I wanted to use this. This is the Layering Designs vellum I was telling you about. So that map pattern in there goes really well with that. And then once I had done that, I decided that I should also use another rugged icon die from here with some of the motorcycle paper. So I did this one here, and then I've used the motorcycle embellishments. And then I also used those here as well. If you guys have any questions, let me know. Then I needed to actually use the motorcycle paper. So I did with the motorcycle. So I did this one here. I feel like I might need to do these as a class. But the motorcycle paper, the motorcycle embellishments, and the Layering Designs vellum are all leaving. So I may do a live with one of these, but I know our time is running out and there's only so many days left to share photos. So I thought I better just show them to you guys all here. All right, so that was the same layout, but switched out the DSP or the die set that was used with it, as you can see here. So don't be afraid if you have a layout that really works and is easy to replicate to switch out the products and use it again. So you can see here all very different themes, and different DSP, but I don't know, I think they work. And then I decided I would do one with the He's the Man, I think it's called, suite. The stamp set is actually called He's All That. I kept referring to the whole thing as He's All That, but it's mostly He's the Man, and I think it's just the stamp set that He's All That. So then I used the same layout for this one here. This one I used all of these little elements from this are pre-die cut. Here's more Layering Designs vellum. Just want to make sure you guys see that. But this came like that. These little shapes came like that. I used some Layering Designs vellum and punched a little shape here. But decorated the insides. I actually should back up and show you. I decorated the inside of that one. There's some of the vellum that I tied in from here. But I just felt like the adventure with maybe a mountain trip went with the map paper there. And I think, is it this one? I decorated the inside like that as well. This one is DSP. On this one here, it's a sticker from the Memories and More pack. Okay, so this is also the same layout. So those are all the same layout, just different themes, different DSP. And then I switched it out and went back to this layout and pulled in the same paper as here. So again, these elements come in the die cut sheet that comes in the paper pack, this one and this one. This is more of the Layering Designs vellum. You get the same prints in white as you get in black, so that's the white map paper. And this is the linen paper again. So I just used a little bit here and tore the edges a little bit again on that one. Thanks, Brenda. And then I used the elements from the die cuts to decorate the inside of this one too. The tent I actually cut from the DSP, but the little tree comes from the little die cut elements that come in the pack. I don't know if it's still in stock. I know it was low inventory the other day, but that's the He's the Man or He's All That DSP. And then I did this one in the same layout again, but with the motorcycle paper and a motorcycle and the Layering Designs vellum. So if you know anybody that's into motorcycles and you plan on making motorcycle cards, you definitely want to get those embellishments and the Layering Designs vellum and this paper before it's gone. For this one here, I used just the silver foil paper and embossed that with the coordinating embossing folder. So I think I made all but these two yesterday. So these were all, this was my marathon last night, was getting all of these other ones done so that I could get them done while the paper is still in existence and be able to show them. Because it's always too bad if I show them after the product has retired, then you guys can't get it if you want it. And if I decide I need more, then I can't get it either. So I already know I need to get more of the embellishments, I need to get more of the DSP, and I need to get more Layering Designs vellum so that I can make more of these. But you can also see what a vellum kick I'm on. I have used vellum on all of these projects. You can't see them all at once right now, but yeah, so that is this lineup of cards. I do have another order that I have to put in. I have some people that want some of these products before they're gone. So if you guys are interested in any of it, the host code here is still in effect. If you haven't earned a spot already at the retirement party or my birthday event, you still can if you use this code. It is a free gift with a $65 order, and then you get to partake in the class with a $100 order, and then you still get the free gift because we're using the gift in the class. So that way, like for example, the birthday one, they're getting the cards because they need it to make these, and there is 2 other cards that we're making in the class. So I posted one the other day. I don't have them handy, otherwise I would show them to you guys. But these 2 are the bright theme, and the other 2 are like the greens and grays and blacks. So yeah, the vellum is, you should put it to use, Brenda. Yeah, if you've got it, use it. I could probably try a blending brush on the edge. That might look nice. Or probably would look nice. I always forget to pull that out. I actually, with the card that I made today, my plan was to use stencils. That card totally went in a different direction than I had planned. But hopefully you guys like what it ended up to be. I'll move these all out of the way. And you can watch for posts with these. I took photos of them this afternoon, and if our reel turns out, it's probably not going to be super great, but if it turns out, I'll post that. And hopefully you guys like that project that we made today, and hopefully you'll give some of these things a try and come back and share them with us so that you guys can enter in the creative challenge. I would love to see what you guys come up with. And then if you want to earn one of these cards that I made, then you just need to share and come back and comment that you did. So I might get back this weekend because, again, there's just so many retiring things I want to share with you guys before they're gone. I'll post to let you know if I can. If you have any requests or if there's something retiring you want to see before it's gone, message me or comment and let me know. And if I have it, maybe I can try to make something with it for you guys. This one's definitely way darker. I feel like I need to switch that one and put something else in there. But thank you guys so much for joining in again tonight. I hope you enjoyed that. I will post again if I am going to go live this weekend. If you want information on bingo, just message me. Don't forget about In Color Club if you are interested in that, so that I can give you the information on that as well. Next time I will go over the details again. Yeah, and hopefully you guys all have a good weekend. The snow here has already melted, which is great. I hope it melts really fast where you are, Tracy. All right. Thank you guys so much for joining. Have a good night.